Hello everyone, Liana here, holistic wellness coach from Sydney, and welcome to the Redox Connection, where we talk about our extraordinary, beautiful bodies and how we can take responsibility to look after ourselves and take care of our well-being. The focus on these calls is on these amazing redox signaling molecules, this new buzzword, redox. And with us today is Dr. Ray Dixon, naturopath, chiropractor. Hello, Dr. Ray Dixon, who in recent years has dived into this amazing new technology and breakthrough of the redox signaling molecules, and is one of the world's first redox educators. So we're very, very happy to have you in the house, Dr. Ray. And we'd like to discuss today the topic of chronic fatigue. A big topic, common. More and more people experience tiredness and this diagnosed with chronic fatigue. Can you explain a bit more what is it about?
Very interesting topic, actually. Fatigue. How do you measure fatigue? Where's the test? You see, test for fatigue. But we all know when we have energy and we're energetic and we're vital. And everyone knows when they're tired and fatigued. There's no great discernment necessary. It's pretty obvious, but there's no measuring test for it. So it's a very interesting topic. And, I've watched in my practice life the evolution of the interpretation of fatigue and now chronic fatigue. In fact, chronic fatigue syndrome, as is often applied to people now, but crossing over with fibromyalgia and some other names. I can remember going way back 35, 40 years ago when it was, it had a different name, myalgic encephalomyelitis, actually. And then it was kind of poo-pooed a lot by the allopathic medical fraternity as a whole bunch of neurotics. And yet I taught anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology for 16 years, up to 2017. And in the pathophysiology medical textbooks I was teaching from, it is now in there and it is now duly recognised. Interesting process that took many, many, many years. So there's a lot of ways to get fatigued. So maybe start at the beginning. What will make you tired today? Not enough sleep last night, too much worry, skipping meal, too much caffeine, too much sugar. There's a whole bunch of things that will make you tired today. And you all on the call know what they are because you've all experienced it. So that's short-term acute. Okay, so we know what will cause obvious signs on a day-to-day basis. If we had too much alcohol, that'll make you fatigue. A drunk person is rarely energetic. So you'll find there's a lot of short-term things that will cause it. But when we talk chronic, that means you feel like it every single day. You might sleep 12 hours. So you've had plenty of sleep. And you wake up and you're still fatigued. And you get brain fog with it. And you can't think straight. And you can't remember things. And your body might ache and you just don't want to get out of bed. I mean, when it goes like that, you've entered the chronic fatigue scenario. And in my practice years, I devolved a few ways to get into this state. Obviously, chronic stress is one. You put your body under too much pressure for too long, and that can be from work hours, not enough sleep, as we said before, burning the candle at both ends. Everyone knows what that means. If you do that for long enough, then obviously there is a stress response. It's known as the general adaptation response. And moderate amounts of stress is positive and good because it keeps you focused and it keeps you motivated. But once you move into higher levels of chronic persistent stress, your entire nervous system and endocrine glandular system shifts From the hypothalamus and the pituitary right through the adrenal glands, you move into stress metabolism. You are now not in normal functioning metabolism. That was only meant to happen for short periods of time. When you live in it, you will burn out. And the end of the general adaptation syndrome, guess what it's called? Physiological exhaustion. I think there might be an exhaustion and fatigue, don't you? So stress is one way into chronic fatigue. But of course, there's other ways. You'll hear, and we've discussed it, I think, before, and if not, we will, about chronic viral syndromes. So some people, they might get herpes zoster, shingles, or they might get Epstein-Barr virus, glandular fever, or the more recent topical one that's been around, and you don't recover. So you end up in chronic fatigue. So that's a post-viral syndrome. So you've gone into it, chronic fatigue, through that mechanism where your body was not able to resurrect itself from the effects of that infection. Now, I'm sure there's a bit of stress behind that to weaken you in the first place so that your immune competence was compromised, and so therefore you went into chronic fatigue. So I'm not saying these are completely separate entities. I'm saying they're overlapping circles where they do factor into each other. And apart from chronic viral type syndromes, stress pushing you into chronic fatigue, a very poor diet will do. If you're not getting the essential nutrients that the body needs, and there's a myriad of them, be they minerals, vitamins. If you eat too much junk food and sugar, you can end up chronically fatigued just from your poor diet choices. So, alcohol as well. So we need to factor all of these things in to what leads someone into that chronically fatigued state. And the other point I might make is show me a depressed person who has energy. Fatigue is linked across other issues. You will even find a number of people chronically fatigued who are also depressed. And then, of course, you've got the chicken and the egg. Did the fatigue bring about the depression, or are there other causes of the depression that brought about the fatigue? And that's a topic for another day.
I'd love that. Take note, because we're going to talk about that. What I love listening in on these conversations that we're having is really understanding how there's this holistic approach. Obviously, as a holistic wellness coach, this is what is my passion, is that how do we support the body, but coming on from all different sides, and how discomforts do come through us from different directions. And at the baseline, obviously, is our immune system. How do we respond, obviously, to how can our body respond to these challenges or attacks from the outside? So again, I want to bring it back to what's the connection with these amazing molecules called redox and fatigue? Are they connected?
Well, every one of the conditions that I just referred to is based on damaged cells. So it doesn't matter if it's a blood sugar problem, or if it's a burnt out adrenal problem, or if it's cells not able, immune system, to take care of a chronic viral infection and therefore recovery. Those cells run on redox. So redox signaling molecules controls the DNA within all of those cells. And of course, redox molecules are responsible for detecting damage, repairing damage, detoxifying the cells in question, and allowing them to function in a healthy, normal manner. So there's your connection. They're intimately involved in all of the varying potential causes of chronic fatigue. So, and by the way, nutrition affects the redoxome as well. So the redoxome affects the redox molecules, affect the use of nutrition by cells, but also nutrition affects the functioning of redox molecules. So again, it's like a figure eight. They're interconnected. So, but until recently, there was no way to actually supplement the body with redox signaling molecules. molecules. You know, they're made inside the body in the mitochondrial cells. They're very fleeting, and the efficiency and production of them decreases at the average rate of 1% per year from puberty. Trillions of these molecules. So there was no way to supplement them until recently. You could help what you still have with a better diet and better nutrition and with exercise, but that was not enough to compensate for the decline with age. So until recently there was no supplement, now there is. So that's quite a revelation.
Absolutely, and we are so happy to be sharing this knowledge out there. And again, I wouldn't know about these molecules, and I wouldn't know more about my body if it wasn't that one day I was in the clinic with you in Phuket and with my husband, and you shared this, and it was a whole new topic. So now that's what's bringing my curiosity of reading about it and understanding the foundations of this topic of these redox. So thank you, Dr. Ray, for bringing in just a bit more spotlight on this, on the topic of fatigue. And we're looking forward to joining in with more topics and diving in and learning about our body, of taking responsibility for our well-being. And just remember that healthy cells, healthy you, happy you. See you next time. Thank you, Dr. Ray.